I witnessed a crime, a hostile takeover of what could have been an amazing project into what will absolutely be one of the worst games of the year. This is the most disappointed I've ever been in a video game. Hell, it might be the most disappointed I've been in my life. Babylon's Fall is to live service games as Assassin's Creed is to open world level design, meaning it's the shining exemplar of everything wrong with live service games. This is one of the worst games I ever played, and I hated it more than playing Cyberpunk and Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Square has robbed us of another platinum banger, and I'm never gonna forgive them for it. The game was supposed to come out in 2019, showing really impressive gameplay, especially for a few years ago, with particle effects, grappling hook, dynamic camera angles, and it looked like it was shaping up to be another legendary action game from Platinum. The game was then unfortunately delayed indefinitely. Years went by, and Platinum Games was on their Bayonetta 3 shit, where the game just disappeared and we would get the odd, "the game is progressing nicely" comment to string us along. Then 2 years later, E3 2021, we finally saw this game again, and it looked nothing like what it looked like 2 years ago. I'm not one for getting my hopes up in games, but we had gameplay and mechanics were clearly scrapped. Like in the reveal trailer grabbing this boss's sword, then in the first gameplay trailer they also grabbed the sword, then 3 years later to finally be playing it and it looks like this. Everything was going right. Platinum Games' signature action combat, a big publisher backing, a cool premise based on the apocalypse in the Book of Revelations, but then Square just had to add Live Service X. I'm not sure if this game was delayed just because Square wanted Platinum to rework this into a live service. The first reveal trailer did show 4 characters, so maybe 4-player co-op was a design intention from the start, but very manipulative for not showing that in the beginning, or at least telling us what the game would be. But it feels like a good thing was absolutely murdered. With this boss having the exact same attacks as the 2019 trailer, I am suspect that this game was delayed just to be reworked as a live service. Hell, the graphics looks like this game was released 4 years ago, so I believe it. Everything cool shown in 2019 is gone in the full game. No grappling hook, no grabs with dynamic camera angles, no cool sword particle effects, and the swords don't materialize in the real game, just to keep objects simple. Adding to one of the many reasons why this game just comes across as cheap feeling. The combat is way slower in the real game too, with enemies being annoyingly slowly telegraphed. Despite me just being upset at what could have been, it wouldn't have been so bad if there was absolutely nothing redeemable about this game. The combat is a complete bastardization of the combat in Nier, and comes down to being a mindless button masher to get the most DPS and 0 repercussions to just mashing, since you can basically stunlock every enemy. I only got 5 hours into this game, and I feel like that's too shallow to review a game, but I just couldn't do it anymore. I struggled so badly through those 5 hours, and apparently you can unlock class special abilities and even weapon combos after beating the main story. So to unlock all the mechanics of this game, for me to give this a fair review, I would have to put in 15 to 20 hours to unlock everything, and then maybe this will feel more like a Platinum game. Without combos, without class skills, over 10 hours is too little too late. That is an absolutely fatal design flaw. Why have a class system in co-op when you can get through the main story with no unique abilities? So co-op is just everyone mindlessly mashing on enemies with 0 class synergy or interaction at all. Maybe it is later on in the game, but hell, you have to deal with that for 15 to 20 hours. Fuck that. The multiplayer is as tacked on as it gets, and also makes this the worst 4-player co-op game I've ever played. Another accolade to add to the list of this game being the worst at. It's the fact that this game is clearly held back being a live service game or even forced multiplayer that makes me upset and makes this easily one of the worst games I ever played. It's a full price $60 game, and just 20 minutes after beating the slow tutorial, a unique character is introduced with a whole intro cutscene only to just be the microtransaction shop. I haven't even played a mission yet and they're already shoving this down your face. Having a paid battle pass and having V-Buck styled real world currency is just inexcusable in a full priced game, and the things you get out of it isn't even worth it. Everything is cosmetic. There's only 4 weapon types and there's 0 combos. I guess you have to beat the game for that. So there's no way I'm gonna mindlessly button mash through the main story just to see if this game is okay as a combo game or as a multiplayer game. And if I can't make that judgment now, then it's not worth the investment. The only thing that was pulling me along was to see the unique enemies and environments, but that quickly got tired fast because you see the environment once and then you have to do like 4 levels of it. It's all the same enemies, or if an enemy gets introduced again, you have to do 4 levels of the same thing fighting waves and waves, same enemies. It's just so tired. And if you're modeling this game after Nier and you can't even change your weapons in game or swap weapons, it just restricts even more of what you can do. You have 4 attack buttons, and from what I've played, it's literally just mash or hold the button down. No actual combos at all. So there's nothing even excited for in the loot. It's just bigger numbers. There's no real power scaling with the levels. You just gotta put on equipment with higher numbers, but it's not like the legendary equipment will do something crazy or change a weapon or something, or how you use. It's the same thing. It's terrible. It's so lazy. It's the bare minimum. No wonder why no one is playing this game right now. I only actually matched like 3 times in my 5 hours playing. The quick play barely works, and I don't know if that's because no one's playing it. This hub area is so weird feeling because it's so empty. There's supposed to be players around, but I barely saw anyone. And these hubs are crossplay between PS4, 5, and PC, and I still barely saw anyone. The gameplay is too, and I still only matched like in 3 games, and quick play didn't work. No one is playing this game. And the players I did see, I was convinced that they were bots. You think there would be cool stuff in the hub area too, like, you know, preparing like Monster Hunter, but no, there's nothing. You can unlock forging and probably other stuff later on in the game, but like I said earlier, too little too late. I was already so done with this game from what I played. I could not go through another 7 hours just to unlock a new mechanic. The game peaked at 600 players at launch on Steam, which is terrible, and it is rated as the worst PS5 console exclusive right now. Then you know Square Enix is gonna come around and blame Platinum, the developers, like they always do, for being a bad fit and for causing the game to not hit expectations. Since this dumpster fire, I wonder if this relates at all to Forsaken being delayed. I doubt it because it's so close, but hey, at least hopefully Square has more quality over the games that they're producing. This was insulting and a waste of time. I suppose it could have been worse though. This could have had a Yorha skin and been like a Nier game. Oh, that would have been so awful. Thankfully, it's some random IP that'll probably never see the blue light of day again. There's no doubt that this game is gonna go free to play or on PS Now in a few months. I mean, just look at it. This is why I hate live service games. I understand, and microtransactions do have a place in gaming, but this just ain't it. And oh my god, the multiplayer is tacked, and the multiplayer limited the actual action gameplay just so that it could be playable online to fit a live service model. There's so many other games I could be playing right now. What a piece of trash. I can't believe I got PS Plus just to play this.